Tantor Audio, a division of Recorded Books, presents Love, the Viscount, and Me by Aven Ellis, narrated by Andrea Emmes. Chapter 1. I never dreamed that within the first few hours on the job, I'd be riding in the back of a black Range Rover, sandwiched between two fighting children, with two more seated in the row behind me, while their mother chats with me non-stop as we are heading out to the country to, in her words, peruse mini-cows. Mini-cows. How is that even a thing? For a moment, I ignore how Pippa is trying to reach around me and poke Byron, or Layla is arguing with Louis behind me, and focus on the rolling green spaces that whiz by the car window. I made it to England. I, McKenna Manning, have made it home. Well, at least half my home. I was born in Essex, but raised in Southern California. England is in my soul. It's the link to my mum, who passed away when I was an infant. I want to learn about it, about her. I can't wait to meet the long-lost cousins I've recently reconnected with, too. With my newly earned degree in childhood development from San Diego State University, I'm taking a year off to find myself, my past. I landed a job as a nanny for Lady Rose Coventry Palmerston, whose aristocratic blood runs back hundreds of years. She has 4 children. Layla is 6, and the triplets are 4, and lives in London in a glorious old house. I moved in this morning, and this is my first day on the job. But on a whim, Rose decided we needed fresh air this Friday, and we all packed up and headed out to Northamptonshire for the weekend.
McKenna is going to like me the best,
Pippa cries, interrupting my thoughts.
No, she's not,
Byron counters. Then he turns to me.
Do you like Shaun the sheep?
Who? Who is Shaun? I flip through all the cartoons I watched on my previous nanny gigs. I can go through the Nickelodeon lineup by heart, and Disney. But I don't know Shaun.
No, she's a girl, and she likes Peppa Pig.
Okay, I know Peppa. The little girl of the last family I nannied for was obsessed with her. I like them both, I lie, knowing I need to keep the peace. Anyway, Rose says as she drives, isn't the country beautiful? I know you didn't expect to be out of the city straight away, but if you spend the weekend in the country with us, I'll give you 2 days off next week in London. Is that agreeable with you? Oh, yes, ma'am. Please, I asked you before, call me Rose, she insists, smiling brightly at me in the rearview mirror. Now, if you look up here, on that hill, see that estate? That belongs to the Rothschilds. Nasty family, I tell you.
Do you like the farmer?
Byron asks. Who? I ask, distracted.
The farmer, from Shaun, he says.
Damn, I fell into a trap. If I knew Shaun, I would know this.
Mummy, tell Louis the mini-cows will be mini-burgers, and we're going to eat the cows,
Layla demands. Louis bursts into tears.
I don't want to eat the mini-cows. Do they make mini-milk?
Pippa asks.
I don't want to eat them. Don't make me eat them.
Louis screams, growing hysterical. Rose continues her narration, oblivious to the chaos in the car. Their daughter, Lady India, is insufferable.
Do you like the farmer?
Byron shouts at me.
Does mini-milk come in tiny cups?
Pippa asks.
I won't eat them,
Louis sobs.
We're going to kill them and grind them up,
Layla cries gleefully. Oh, my God. I have not been hired to be a nanny. I'm the head of chaos control. I quickly turn around to face Layla and Louis. Louis, I say in a voice that is calm and soothing, we will not be eating the mini-cows. I promise you that. Your mummy is looking at them as pets, much like a dog or a cat.
Maybe we'll eat them when they grow bigger,
Layla says, a wicked gleam entering her blue eyes.
We need to fatten them up to make big burgers.
Louise shrieks, and she laughs maniacally. I need to keep an eye on this one. Louis, look at me, I say. He stops crying and stares at me. I will not allow any mini cows to be made into burgers, ever. I promise with all my heart. He stops crying.
What about what Layla said?
Layla is wrong, I say breezily. Layla scowls at me. Now I turn my attention to her. Layla, you are saying these things to upset Louis, and that isn't very kind, now is it? The car falls silent. When I interviewed with Rose, she told me that Layla has been a bit of a handful ever since the triplets were born. The triplets are 4. It's time for Layla to have some authority and structure in her life, and for her to learn to be a proper big sister instead of a terror. Layla scowls at me. Miss Layla, I asked you a question, I say. Now she shoots daggers at me.
It's the truth.
No, it is not. We are not eating mini cows, so you were saying something that was untrue. You need to apologize to Louis, please. She folds her arms.
What if I don't want to?
Then you and I will have a boring time at the farm, watching the triplets play with all the animals while we sit next to the car.
Why would we do that?
Layla asks. Layla, Rose says, sighing wearily, please stop. Because playing with the animals is not a right, I say easily. If you choose not to apologize, you will not participate. It's up to you, of course. I will either play with the mini cows with you, or we will sit out. Which would you like to do? The car is dead silent.
I'm sorry,
she says through gritted teeth. Oh, that is such a good choice, Layla. Thank you. I cry happily. Now we can all have fun with the cows. Louis nods. I can tell he's appeased. But Layla? She whips her head and stares out the window, her arms crossed, a scowl on her face. I turn back around. My heart tells me Layla is still struggling to find her role in the family after the triplets came home. They've had 2 nannies during that time. One was Layla's nanny since birth, and she didn't want to cope with triplets and left. The next nanny preferred young children and left a few weeks ago to take a post with a family in Yorkshire who had a 2-year-old and an infant. I am nanny number 3. According to Rose, she picked me because I was young and American and had a degree in working with young children. She said she wanted someone different. I, on the other hand, took this position because I love working with all young children. Coming to England was my goal, and I interviewed with several families. But Rose and her husband, John, were kind in their interview. They spoke to me as an equal. I told them my goal was to teach the children to be inquisitive and learn through play. I wanted them to have fun, but learn to be responsible and respectful. I explained that teaching empathy, understanding, and compassion was important to me, and if the Palmerstons didn't agree to this, I wouldn't take the job. Luckily, they did. With the Palmerstons, I knew I would have the opportunity to live in London, which is what I wanted, but would also spend time in the country, which seemed ideal for my goal of exploring the land that is a part of me. The part I do not yet know.
Mummy, how much farther?
Pippa asks. Oh, my love, not too much farther, Rose says.
Will Daddy meet us there?
Byron asks. No, my darling, Daddy has to work, Rose says, but he will join us for dinner tonight, and we'll spend all weekend together.
McKenna too?
Louis asks. I turn around and smile at him. He grins back. Then I look at Layla, who I catch scowling at me, before she quickly looks out the window again. McKenna too, Rose says. We continue our drive to this farm, which seems like an eternity because I have no idea where I am. Finally, we turn down some winding roads, and I see a sign promoting Wee Moo's Farm. As Rose heads up the drive, we move past pastures dotted with tiny cows.
Look at the baby cows,
Byron yells.
I want to pet one,
Pippa cries. They are even trained to be on a harness, Rose chimes in. Those are the cutest things I have ever seen, I say, delighted upon the sight of them.
Oh, Mummy, we have to get some. We have to,
Louis cries. No comments from Layla. She's either still smarting from my rebuke, or she's planning to turn one of those cows into cheeseburgers when we aren't looking. I'll go with my first and much less disturbing theory.
If Phillip is okay with us having mini cows, we're going to get some, Rose says. But because they need to live in the country, we need to make sure it's okay with him.
Phillip. I remember Phillip from my research on the Palmerstons. Lord Phillip Coventry, Viscount Brookstone, is Rose's younger brother and the middle child of the Coventry family. Due to ancient laws, he will inherit all the estates when they pass from their parents and become the Earl of Castleton, even though Rose is the oldest daughter. When I came across photos online of Phillip, I wasn't quite prepared for what I found. He's what I would call devastatingly handsome. He's tall, with golden blonde hair and blue eyes. In the most recent images I've seen of him, his skin seems kissed by the sun, with that warm bronze glow. He's 25, and in all the media images posted of him, he looks serious. Whether it's attending a society wedding in a dashing morning suit or snapped coming out of a nightclub, his face is always fixed in that expression. I wonder why that is.
Phillip will say yes,
Layla says, speaking at last.
He always does.
Rose laughs.
That is because he indulges you way too much, my sweet. What does indulges mean?
Layla asks.
Phillip always gives you what you want and is very generous,
Rose says, laughing.
That is what indulges means.
As long as he doesn't indulge Layla turning one of those cows into dinner, we'll get along just fine, I think. We pull up to the farm, and all the children begin talking at once. Rose gets out first and opens the door to undo Byron's buckle and help him out of his booster seat. I help Pippa with hers, and as soon as I'm out, she scrambles out behind me. I turn and get Louis out, while Layla climbs out the other side. I stand on the gravel and breathe the air in deep. Lord, there is something magical about this green English countryside. The pastures are carpets of deep emerald, and the sky overhead is a brilliant blue, dotted by wisps of white clouds streaking across the sky. The temperature is in the 70s, mild and beautiful. Something stirs within me. Yes, I have lived in Carlsbad, California for almost my whole life. The mountains, the palm trees, the warm sun, and ocean were all home. But this feels different, as if this land was always meant to be my home.
Oh, McKenna, look at the baby cows!
Byron cries in delight, interrupting my thoughts. Which is good, because I was about to have to claim allergies to explain the tears in my eyes if I kept thinking about these feelings within me.
Let's pet them,
Pippa cries, taking steps toward the fence. I gently put my hand on her arm to stop her. Hold on, I say, laughing. We need to ask if we can pet them first. She stares up at me, concern filtering across her tiny face.
Do they bite?
I glance at Rose. I'm in foreign territory with livestock questions.
I don't think so, but we never want to touch an animal without permission,
she says, holding each of the boys by the hand. Come here, Layla, I say cheerfully. You can take my other hand if you like. Layla scowls.
No.
No what? I ask, smiling. Now, you don't have to hold my hand. I know you're 6 and the big sister, but I just asked you if you would like something. There's a polite way to tell me no. She huffs. I think I'm pushing all the wrong buttons in her, but ones I need to push for her to grow.
No, thank you,
she says, scuffing the gravel with the toe of her shoe. Thank you, Layla, I say. Now I hear the sound of more gravel crunching under approaching footsteps. I turn and find a man approaching us. He's in his 40s, I'd say, and flashes us all a welcoming smile. You must be the Palmerstons, he says as he nears us. Welcome to Wee Moo's farm. I'm Robert.
Hello, I'm Rose.
She smiles brightly at him.
It's a pleasure to meet you.
They shake hands, and then she turns to me.
And this is McKenna.
He extends his hand to me.
Pleasure.
I shake it. Nice to meet you, I say.
And these are my children, Rose says. My eldest is Layla, and this is Byron, Pippa, and Louis.
His eyes widen as he takes in the triplets.
My goodness, you all look so alike.
We're triplets, Pippa says proudly. We all came from Mummy's tummy at the same time, Louis adds.
Triplets? I've never met triplets before, Robert says, studying them. I glance at Layla, and a frown twists at her tiny mouth. My heart catches. She must see and hear this all the time, how special the triplets are, while she stands in the background, fading away. I'm going to make her feel special for being Layla, I vow. She's going to test me and not trust me, and push all my buttons as I push hers. But I will make her feel wonderful about being Layla. Robert begins telling us about Wee Moo's farm and how he fell in love with miniature cattle. He's good at this, too. While he explains raising them to Rose, he also peppers his talk with tidbits aimed directly at the children to keep them engaged. They make wonderful pets, he says, just like a dog.
So we can bring them home and keep them in the backyard? Layla asks, intrigued by this idea. No, Poppet. These mini cows will need to stay at Morton House, Rose explains.
I raise some cattle to specifically be pets, Robert continues. Before you take them, they are trained to be around people. They'll be able to walk on a leash by command.
We can walk the cows? Louis asks, his eyes wide.
Yes, sir, Robert says. See those cows in front of you in the pasture? Those are miniature Herefords, and they can be walked on a leash.
I want to try walking one, Byron commands.
Byron, we're still listening to Mr. Robert, I remind him. They do require hands-on time, Robert continues, turning to Rose. Several times a week. They will need to get attention from you. Walking them, talking to them, petting them. This will keep them gentle and friendly. Rose's brow furrows. I can tell she hadn't thought about that. Oh dear, she says. We live in London, and we only come out to the country for the weekends or for holiday. I wonder if our farm staff at Morton can handle this. You need to think about that, Robert advises. You can leave them to their own devices and just have someone feed them and put them in the barn, that kind of thing. But there's no guarantee they'll stay docile. I glance at Rose. Hadn't she done any homework on mini cows before coming out here? Or did she just see a picture of one on Pinterest and decide, those are cute, let's have a herd? From the look on her face, I'm beginning to think it's the latter.
Mummy, can we see the cows now, please?
Pippa begs. She blinks.
Oh, yes, let's do that,
she says brightly. Robert, I saw you have the cute breed with the long hair, yes? He nods. I do have the Scottish Highland. They are docile, but you do have to have the children mind the horns.
Could they poke through someone?
Layla asks. They would hurt you, yes, Robert says. Layla frowns. You simply have to learn to be careful of them, I say to Layla. I know you could do it, and being the oldest, you can show your brothers and sisters how to be around them. Her expression grows to one of surprise at my comment. I think they are so cute, Rose says. Oh, she totally got this off a photo on Pinterest.
What are these cows called?
Louis asks, pointing to the cows in front of us. Herefords, Robert says, smiling at them. I have some right around the corner ready to meet you if you would like to see them. All the children began talking at once, and Robert leads us through a gate and into the pasture. The children are bursting over with excitement, and it brings a smile to my face. And I get why they are excited. These mini cows are the cutest things I have ever seen in my life. There's a whole group of them happily grazing away under the English sun, with their white faces and reddish-brown coats. They need to be brushed and petted and even walked, Robert says as we approach. Who can help me with that? A chorus of me cries fill the air. Robert laughs. Good. I love having lots of helpers. Now, children, please be quiet and listen to what Mr. Robert tells us to do, I say. They all fall silent. Even Layla looks very interested. Robert walks them all over to a cow named Daisy. He shows us how to pet her and talk to her,
and then hands a brush to Layla and gives her the task of brushing her. Soon, we all have brushes and are petting and stroking their coats, and it's magnificent. I've done petting zoos a million times with my previous nanny jobs, but nothing like this. Nothing compares to strolling around a rolling green pasture, wearing wellies and petting mini cows. Robert puts harnesses on 2 mini cows and shows us how to walk them. I explain how we are all going to take turns, and first, I'm going to take Layla and Pippa out to walk Buttercup and Davy in the fields, while Louis and Byron stay with their mother and give the other cows treats. Then I'll come back and they'll walk the cows.
I really get to do it first?
Layla asks, surprise in her tiny voice as Robert leaves us in the fields with the 2 cows. Yes, of course you do, I say, handing her the leash to Buttercup. Now, Pippa, you're going to walk Davy. We're going to use some girl power and show the boys how to do this, right?
Girl power,
Pippa giggles. I grin at her. We have lots of it locked inside of us. Superpowers. We begin walking the cows, and Layla and Pippa chatter happily in delight. I'm delighted myself. It's my first official day on the job, and I'm walking mini cows in the most beautiful countryside I have ever seen. But as we're beginning to stroll along, I hear a shriek in the distance and more yelling. The cows grazing around us startle and begin to run. Pippa turns and lets go of her leash, and now Davy is running with his leash streaming behind him, and Buttercup struggles to get free. I whip around, my nanny senses on red alert, and see Louis running wild, screaming, while Byron chases him with a look of fury on his face, something held up in his hand as he chases Louis. It's Pooh. Girls, head back to your mum. We'll be back walking the cows in a minute, I call out as I take off toward the boys. Boys, stop running. Stop this very second, I yell as I sprint the best I can in these rubber boots I have on. I also can't see, because my long dark hair is now whipping around my face like a scarf and getting in my eyes. I quickly shove it aside, only to find they aren't listening to a word I say. The mini cows have fled deep into the fields, and I have no idea how I'm going to retrieve Buttercup and Davy. But right now, my goal is to get Byron to drop that Pooh this very second. Byron, I yell, gasping as I come closer. Stop right now. You stop this instant. Louis sees me and runs toward me for protection. Byron holds the huge pile of Pooh like a baseball, ready to launch it at Louis. Byron, drop! But my command is cut off by another voice. Byron! A voice bellows, breaking through the air like a crash of horrific thunder during a raging storm. Stop this instant! I turn toward the voice of doom, but as I do, I stumble in my new boots and go flailing. My arms shoot out, and I land with a huge thud onto the earth, my whole body slamming onto my back with force. I can't even cry out as the wind is knocked straight out of me from the pain of the fall. Good God, I think I see stars.
McKenna!
Louis wails. Now there's mooing and the sound of a herd running farther away and people running toward me. I'm still on my back, my head killing me, my back throbbing. And what is that mushy stuff underneath my head? Oh no. I hope that's not blood.
She's dead!
Louis cries hysterically.
Byron killed the nanny!
I groan. I'm about to reply that I'm not dead when that voice returns. Back up! The same deep voice I heard earlier commands with powerful authority. Suddenly, the sun I felt a second earlier on my face is blocked. Miss, can you hear me? I open my eyes, and towering over me is Phillip Coventry, Viscount Brookstone. Chapter 2. I gaze up at Phillip, the sun shining around his head like a fuzzy halo. I feel as if the wind has been knocked out of me twice now, once by my fall, the second time by staring up at the gorgeous face of this man standing over me. He's a Greek god, so beautiful and perfect that he must have been dropped from the heavens above and straight into this cow pasture to help me. Social media images don't do Phillip Coventry justice. He's tall and broad. I can see that from the fabric of the blue button-down shirt that is stretching across his shoulders. He drops down next to me, gently placing a hand on my arm as he stares down into my eyes.
McKenna, how is your head?
He asks, his eyes flickering over me in concern.
Can you speak to me?
A frisson runs through me as his deep voice fills the space between us. Lord, his eyes are so blue. A million cliches about blue eyes fill my mind, but none suit him, as they are such a beautiful, vivid color. His hair is thick and blonde, with the sun dancing across his waves and giving them a rich golden glow. "Bloody hell! Is she knocked out?" I hear Rose yelling, and the sound of her breathing heavily as if she's sprinting across the pasture. "Do we need to call an ambulance?" "I didn't kill her!" Byron cries hysterically. "She fell on her own." "You made her run, and now the nanny is dead!" Louise screams back. "This is so much worse than turning the mini-cows into mini-burgers," Layla cries in triumph. "You both killed the nanny. Now you'll go to jail."
Nobody is going to jail, Phillip says. McKenna, please, can you say anything? Tell me where you have pain.
Damn, my head really hurts. Oh wait, blood. I shake my head. Am I bleeding? At the back of my head. "Mummy!" Louis calls out. "She's not dead!"
Boys, back up,
Phillip commands. He gently pushes some of my hair aside, checking for what I fear will be a pool of blood from a cut.
No, I don't see blood. Can I help you sit up? Do you think you can do that?
Soon, Rose is standing over me, and her hand flies to her mouth. "Oh, God, McKenna! I'm so sorry. We need to get you to the hospital." "No," I say firmly. "I don't think I have a concussion. Just bumped the back of my head."
Here, I'll help you up,
Phillip says, sliding one of his hands underneath my shoulder blade. His hand is large and warm. I can feel his heat through the thin fabric of my shirt. I push myself upright, and Phillip's hand remains on my back as I sit up, supporting me. Ouch. Pain shoots through me and everything smarts. My head, my back, and my tailbone. But then I feel something sliding down my neck. And what's that smell? It smells like plop. As soon as it hits the ground, the lovely aroma of cow manure fills the air, and the scent is wafting up from me. No, it can't be what I think it is, can it? "It smells over here," Pippa says, pinching her nose closed. "Ew, I'm going to be sick." I turn to Phillip. "It's not blood oozing from the back of my head, is it?" I ask, cringing. His gaze shifts to the ground behind me. Then he lifts his blue eyes back to meet mine.
No.
Oh, God. I'm the one who smells, and it's because I've landed in a pile of cow shit. "Mummy, I don't feel well," Pippa says. I glance at her. Oh no, the child looks green. "Pip," I begin. Splat. Too late. Pippa has now tossed her lunch a few feet from me in the field. She bursts into tears. "Oh no, I'm so sorry," Rose cries. She scoops up Pippa in her arms, and Pippa wraps her tiny arms around Rose's neck. "We'll leave right now. I don't know what got into Byron. He thought Louis was taking the cow he wanted to brush, and then, well, you know. Little boys will be little boys, right?"
She's in no shape to watch the children now,
Phillip says, his tone firm and commanding.
Rose, go get them together where you can manage them. I'll help McKenna.
Buttercup and Davy, I say.
Who?
Phillip asks, his golden brows forming into a V of confusion on his face. Mini cows. They ran off into the pasture. They have leashes on. "I'll let Robert know. He can retrieve them," Rose says. Then she turns to her boys. "Mummy is very upset over what has happened today. We might not be getting mini cows now." That announcement results in screaming and protests, and the nanny and me, despite my pounding head, can't take it. Boys, I say sharply.
Sample complete. Ready to continue?